My stream. Oh my god, I am so bad.
Wait, what just happened? What just happened?
I'm so. I realized I am so sorry, Orbeez. I just gave this whole introduction for the Twitch folk, and I realized I never clicked the go live button on YouTube. Oh my god. I am so. Oh, this is like, I think this is probably the most scuffed stream in Z history. Like, this is a new unprecedented level. Yeah, so for those of you who just came in on the YouTube side, I've been talking for like 3 or 4 minutes, just, you know, giving some brief announcements, quickly doing attendance, and I realized I never clicked the go live button on YouTube. Hi, so I'm gonna do attendance again. So, hello Liam, hello Germanium, hello Eggy, hello Cerno, hello Zilla, hello Arky, hello Poison, hello Warpy, hello Calcium, and then hello KO5, Lena, and Kiri on the Twitch side, and Astral. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. And then hello Andrew. As I was saying, my voice sounds a lot better if you haven't noticed already. My next stream will probably be on Friday, so if you're a member, be sure to be on the Discord and help me vote for what game or what stream we might do. Hello Shami, and we're already starting late, so I think without further ado, I think we should introduce Stella. So Stella, are you there? I think you're muted on Discord.
Okay, so now it's...
Yeah! Oh god, this has been like so scuffed. Hi.
Okay. I'm Stellante. I do astronomy content, mainly more focused on like questions of cosmic society. Like you'll notice that with all my videos, and then I also do just incredibly scuffed live streams, and it seems that's transferred over to here.
Yeah, it's not every day that you get 2 astronomy VTubers on one stream. Is Stella a little bit quiet? Here, let me adjust the audio settings.
Oh.
Please do let me know if the audio for anything is too loud. I cannot monitor it. Let me boost you to like 180%. Okay. Books, what is this, a stream for nerds? Yes, this is the Nerdy Book Showcase.
Yeah.
And,
but before you do that,
yeah.
Okay, so on my stream, I have a hand cam set up so I can physically showcase books. But first, I wanna show. Okay, so this is I have a. Oh God, it's not in frame. But I have a constellation mug right here, and it's. See, I don't know if you can see, but it has all the constellations on it. It was replacement to the other mug I had that broke.
Oh, is that the one in the corner?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay,
Stella sounds like they're in the other room. Stella is in your walls, yes.
All the audio and stuff, we couldn't get any of the models working, so we're just going to be doing it like this.
Yes. I'm going to make your hand cam a little small on my screen, and then just let me know when you want to showcase it.
Yeah, okay. I guess, to start off, we can just go through the live stream, because we haven't ordered, like, your books, and then my books, and then book seeds we've read, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how we did it.
I also realized that I know there's probably a lot of overlap between our audiences, but I just wanted to quickly introduce myself for your viewers. Speeding at Sea, it's me, Z. Hi. I am also I guess I'm an astrophysics VTuber. I do a lot of content with physics, astrophysics, and also have dabbled in like aerospace and space policy. I stream on both YouTube and Twitch, but primarily on YouTube. And yeah, I'm so glad that this collab was able to happen, and we are both very very nerdy individuals who read a lot of books. Actually, Stella was on my stream previously at the end of one of my Astrobyte stream on a very impromptu collab, but this is our first real collab, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, I just didn't expect everything to go so wrong so quickly.
That is true, that is true. All right, so I just moved on to the first slide for Z's recent reads. These are just some books that I've been reading let me just adjust this. Recently been reading. My favorite one, which I mentioned in my members email subscription, is Everything is Tuberculosis. It's a book about the history of tuberculosis, and I loved it because it really delved into all the aspects of the disease, from the political side to the historical side to the scientific and social side of it as well. Like, cowboy hats were invented by a tuberculosis patient, and I think a very large percentage of the world's populations in all of history have suffered from tuberculosis, and it describes, how the world has adapted as a result. Fireproof book, maybe. I should ask Fi. I think it's really great, and John Green does an amazing job making sure that the research is up to date, and a part of the book is also his story with a tuberculosis patient who is navigating a new treatment for the first time. I could talk about all these books for a very long time, but the other one that I would really recommend is the book Catabasis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's about this girl who has to descend into the layers of hell in order to find her PhD advisor. It's a really funny plot. And it is definitely a very exciting read. The first half was really good, and I was a little disappointed by the second half, but I do highly recommend. And the other ones here are also very great. The Maniac is about a bunch of physicists, and sort of how they lost their minds doing physics. And then A Thousand Splendid Suns is this gorgeously written book. It made me cry about the story of these two women who are dealing with abusive household and a war-torn country. So all these books are great. So these are my recent reads. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I do highly recommend. Astral Sniper.
Yeah, they all sound.
Mm-hmm.
They all sound like very interesting. I didn't look much into it before the stream because I wanted you to talk about them. But no, I might pick some of these up.
Yeah, and do let me know if you do. Thousand Splendid Suns hurt my soul to this day. Yeah, no, that definitely stuck with me for a long time. And hello, Astral Sniper. Hello, Aleph Moo. Thank you so much for stopping by. John Green mentioned, yeah, John Green's great. So I guess I wanted to highlight some of my favorite books as well. I think there's unfortunately a growing population of people who are not into reading anymore, which is very, very sad. But this book is really...
I'm sorry, that reminded me of so one of my brothers was talking to me, recently, we still, talk and such. He was talking to me about how, at his school, they don't teach kids how to read anymore. It's just, they don't assign books or anything. It's just, read these passages. No, books are great, books are interesting, and we should be promoting reading, but apparently we aren't anymore in some places.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. One of the books on the previous page, I didn't talk about this, was this book called The Comfort Crisis, and it's this idea that because people have gotten so comfortable with a lot of different aspects, whether it's doom scrolling or, our attention spans are being shortened, people are less inclined to do things that they perceive as more difficult. And it is true that reading and visualizing something in your head is very, very different skill than, doom scrolling on your phone. But I think reading is very, very important. Especially in science, where a lot of people are also writing research papers. And I think the first step of becoming a good writer is also being a good reader. Simon Stalinog. Yeah, so no sci-fi books. We're going to talk about that. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about sci-fi books, so be very excited. And
yeah, that's all in the latest slide.
Yes. And so the first book I want to talk about was The Electric State by Simon Stalinog. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. It's actually it's like a graphic novel with really amazing dystopian world building. the basic premise, I don't want to spoil it too much, is that a girl and her robot go on this journey to search for their brother, and in the meantime, they have to travel through this very ruined landscape, which was the outcome of a very addictive VR technology. The world building is absolutely spectacular, and I highly, highly recommend. Stella, have you read this book?
No, I didn't even hear of it. I'm really sorry. I was sorry. Like, before stream, I grabbed myself one of those Japanese like fish ice cream snacks, and then I forgot about it, and then it was melted. And I was like, oh, it shouldn't be too bad, and then it made a mess everywhere.
Oh no!
No,
Wait,
no,
it's like one of those like Nature Valley bars that just like crumbles everywhere.
No, that wasn't. It was an ice cream snack, and I forgot about it, and then I tried to eat it while it was melting.
Oh my god! Wait, hi, so we just had a raid from Cyberpunk. Speeding at Z, it's me, Z. Hello, everybody. Oh my god, thank you so much, Cyberpunk, for visiting, and for all the Cyber Raiders. I think the first thing we should do is quickly introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Z. I am a physics VTuber and also an IRL astrophysics researcher. Typically I do content in physics, astrophysics, space policy, and more. Oh my god, thank you all so much for all of the follows. I am actually dual streaming on YouTube, as well, which is my primary platform. Thank you all so much for the support. Today we are actually reviewing different books that we've enjoyed over time, and I just finished talking about The Electric State. Stella, if you'd like to introduce yourself amidst these very loud notifications.
Okay, real quick. Hi, I'm Stella. I'm astronomy and futurism VTuber. I do a lot of content on like cosmic sociology and exploring like how civilization like grows and would interact in space. And then I also do base stuff live streams.
Yay! Wait, this is so great. Thank you so much. Well, we were just talking about our favorite books, so if you have any recommendations, please do let us know. Some of our favorite books have included some sci-fi books. I think that's actually perfect timing to go on to the next slide, where I will talk about another book that I really enjoy. It's called Exhalation. Many of you guys may have read this. I love your microwave background top. I wish that were a real shirt. I've been trying to look for that as well. I am canonically a photon from the first light of the universe, actually. Oh, I just realized the top of my head is cropped off.
Oh no.
Oh my god, thank you all so much for the support. I really appreciate it. I just recently started dual streaming on Twitch, just so that there's a great scientific education community on Twitch, and I guess this is also a great example of that. So thank you so much for all of the support. Alright, so to move on to the next book, please do let me know if you've read this one, because this was one of my favorites. This is a book called Exhalation by Ted Chiang. It's a collection of science fiction short stories, and I also included this on my list because, as I was mentioning before, nowadays less and less people have been really enjoying reading, and I think reading is such an important part of being a good writer and also sort of getting our attention spans back. But if you are wanting to start getting into reading, the first thing I recommend is reading short stories. And this is sort of where Exhalation comes in. It's a collection of science fiction short stories, and each one of them sort of left a very echoing, lasting impression. And I don't know about you, Stella, but for me, I really enjoy books and movies that like make me like think about it like late at night or like in the shower. Have you read Exhalation?
Yeah. No, honestly, most of the books on your list I hadn't even heard of. But I think the only one was like, it was The Egg, because I'd watched the Kurtz's video. some time ago. But no, all of these look very interesting.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan is great, and I love the animations that they made. I think Tofu also just raided into Syzygy before, so thank you so much to Tofu as well, and welcome in. I guess we can briefly introduce ourselves again. Hi.
Third time's hard.
we were talking about how scuffed this stream is, and so yeah, this has definitely been probably the most scuffed stream in my streaming history. So hi, I'm a physics VTuber, an IRL astrophysics researcher, and we are talking about our favorite books. And then Stella, if you want to give a quick sentence or two.
Yeah, I'm an astronomy futures of VTuber. I do videos and stuff live streams. Check it out if you want to see content.
Great, yes. So about exhalation, my favorite short story is actually the title story. It's called Exhalation. And the premise is that an alien scientist is trying to figure out why the clocks in their society appear to be running too fast. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but I hope that hook is what gets you interested. And so for my next book, I moved on to the next slide. This is one of my favorite books, and if you are interested in science history, this is the book for you. This is called When We Cease to Understand the World. It is a very shocking book, and I do recommend that there is a little bit of dark content, so if you are sensitive to that, please be sure to look it up in advance. It is a series of stories on real-life scientists whose discoveries and drive for understanding the world have resulted in very scary moral consequences. I don't know if you know this, Stella, but there are a lot of physicists who, especially if you ever look up the Wikipedia article for Boltzmann and Ehrenfest, near the end of their lives, they went through very troubled periods. And Benjamin Labatut, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, sort of discusses about how this drive for discovery led to some of these scientists literally going insane. It was very shocking, and it's very freaky because you kind of read about these scientists and you don't know really you don't know about sort of their backstory until you really look into it. I never really knew that. Yeah, I do recommend looking up the Wikipedia article for Ehrenfest and Boltzmann, but I do have to say, if you are sensitive to their intense content, I would not recommend.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't read this one because
Yeah.
But no, it depends.
I love history. Yeah, I mean, well, on the better hand though, one of the other things that he wrote about was about Oppenheimer. And have you watched the movie, Stella?
No, I've been meaning to, but I just haven't been able to make time. It's just I wanted to watch it in theaters, but I never got the chance. I've seen all the memes and clips from it, obviously.
Well, Orbeez, do let me know if you've seen Oppenheimer as well. It is a good movie, but it is definitely a long watch. I think one of the stories that they talk about is how Oppenheimer, and this was discussed in the movie, felt a lot of guilt about developing the bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I do highly recommend reading American Prometheus and also watching the movie. Barbenheimer was a magical time. That is so true. Barbenheimer was magical. We also have a question from chat, and I guess this is also a good question for Stella because you actually got these books. The question is, I came in with the raid. Did you talk about where to get the books? I try hard these days not to Amazon. I highly recommend going to a public library. And I say that because a lot of people don't realize this, but libraries nowadays have also gotten very high tech. There are some libraries that have access to 3D printers, and you can get so much free goodies with just a public library card. If a library is not accessible, I also recommend going to used bookstores. Sometimes you can find them on Google Maps, a really old one that's been run by a family for generations. And they also tend to have really good deals. or ways for you to like borrow the book and then sell it back again, or just borrow it for the time being. Or if you have friends that also like to read, another great way is to exchange books. So that's actually what I've been doing recently. I'm reading this book called The Information by James Gleek. I don't know if to say his last name. And it's a book that I borrowed from a friend. So I do highly recommend that. Stella, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think if you want to get into reading books, first place you want to check out is a library. If you don't have access to a library, go to a used bookstore. In fact, whenever I'm buying books, I always try and check the used stores before I go to like a normal bookstore, and then after that, I check out like whatever nearby bookstore I have access to. Yeah, I think libraries are genuinely incredibly underutilized. We'll talk about this when we get to, but that's how I got access to Supernova Air. I was able to read it, and then because the main thing about libraries is that you will have to return it eventually. So if that's not something you want to do and you want to like keep it in your collection, then you want to buy the books. But if you just want to read the books, then definitely go to the library first.
Yeah, I do highly recommend that. And I think another great place is like visiting Barnes and Noble, and these like new books are great, but they also tend to be like, since the books are new, they are also more pricey, and so visiting a library is great. Good advice. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. University bookstores are great as well. Just went to the University of British Columbia bookstore with a friend, and that was fun. Well, I'm glad you had a great time. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, bookstores are, I don't know, I also feel like I've met so many people in bookstores, just like going through like the physics book section and somebody being like, oh, like, you like physics? And I'm like, oh, I actually am like, I actually do physics, and sparking great conversations and meeting other people who would be willing to exchange books with you. Hello, Nep. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bunch of nerds in here. Yeah, we are nerds.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time. I think this might be my last slide out of my books. The last one that I want to talk about is The Egg. This is a short story, and I guess another great thing is that it's online, so you don't even need to think about buying or looking for the book. And there's also a really great video that was animated by Kyrgyzstan as well. But there are still books which are hard to find outside of Amazon. Yes, that is true. That is true. That's why used bookstores can sometimes be a good place. So The Egg is a short story by Andy Weir, who is also the author of The Martian and one of my favorite books of all time, which is Project Hail Mary, which I think we'll talk about in just a second.
Yeah, it's near the end.
Yeah. And so this book, this short story is the kind of story that really keeps you thinking long after you read it. It is a short read, but with a very powerful punch. A little teaser to it is that a man meets God after dying and learns the meaning of his life, as well as many others. Project Hail Mary is so good. Yes, I highly recommend all the books written by Andy Weir, including The Martian, Artemis, and Project Hail Mary. But I guess, as I mentioned before, if you are interested in getting into reading, short stories is one of the great ways to get started. So I highly recommend this one. And there's an animated video for it, so if you aren't into reading, you can still get the punch out of it by checking out this video by Kyrgyzstan. All right, I think that was all of my books.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going into mine now.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God.
Ooh.
First one I want to show off is Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. Now, I'm gonna give a bit of a warning. For the I have it on my hand here, but my teaser things are a bit more maybe spoilery. I don't know. It wasn't intentional. It's just the way I write stuff. It's very difficult for me to like think about how to tease something without giving too much away. But the basic premise of the book is that these aliens called the Overlords appear over Earth, and they bring about utopia, ending war, famine, poverty, and uniting Earth. But the question is just, of course, at what cost? Because they have their own agenda at play. And the ultimate question is if their arrival marks the end of humanity's story or its beginning.
Ooh, the
And that's,
cover
like,
looks spooky too.
it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, I recommend checking it. It's the one I'm currently reading right now. I've been enjoying it. Yeah, okay. I forgot I'm supposed to be the one moving this through. Okay.
Next
one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull it up real quick. Ah. Right here. Right. It's On the Shoulders of Giants. I got it. Oh god. I got it for Christmas last year, and what it is, it's a 1,200-page collection of the works of Kepler, Galileo, Copernicus, Newton, and Einstein.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it collects and translates all the works together, and then allows you to basically see how physics and astronomy has progressed throughout the last 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think it's the main thing is, like, obviously, like, look at it. It is not an easy read. Beyond just being dense scientific work, there's also just so many pages.
Mm.
It's definitely something you want to read in sections over the course of like a year, which is what I plan to do.
I feel like these kinds of books are perfect for like coffee table books, because I was reading.
Yeah.
I was. If you
like I said, it's not some. Sorry, no. Continue.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna quickly say, have you read Leonardo da Vinci by the very famous biographer? Orbeez, do you remember? He also recently wrote Elon Musk and then Steve Jobs. I'm blanking on the author's name, but it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Walter Isaacson, I think. Have you read that?
I have not, but I'd be interested in checking it out. Because Vinci's an interesting character. I feel like there are a lot of people in history that they were limited by the technology at their time. Vinci's one of them, Tesla's another. Yeah. Okay, I think let's move on to the next one. I don't remember the order. Right.
I love this one! I love this one!
Yeah, okay. So, here's my copy of A Briefer History of Time. It's just a republication of his original one, but updated. Well, I guess updated when it was initially published. Probably outdated by now, but I think it's still a very good introduction to a lot of these concepts, especially for like non-physics and non-science people.
Yeah, I'm wondering why you didn't put A Brief History of Time, and why specifically the briefer one.
Because I don't have. This is the one I have.
Oh, I see.
That was the only thing. I don't have the original publication, just an updated one.
Yeah, no, I remember reading this. It was a lot of fun. And Orbeez, please do let us know if you've read any of these and what you think. Especially considering, like, I felt like it's very interesting to see like how people of different fields or different backgrounds or interests interpret these different books. Because I kind of read this like from the point of view of like a physicist, right? And I talked with one of my friends who was doing like biology and was like absolutely blown away by how funky this book is, and actually that led to her taking a class in relativity. And so I'm very curious to hear like what you all also think about this book as well. And if you need book recommendations, well, you are in the right place.
Yeah, this whole stream is a book recommendation stream.
Yeah. Hello, Karis.
Okay.
Yes. All right, next one.
Okay. Next one. All right. So.
Ooh.
This. Oh shoot! Hold on. This is a guide to making friends in the fourth dimension. It's a self-published book by Toby Hendy. She has a YouTube channel. She does like content with basically exploring the idea of other dimensions, and that is what the book is going to be. It's about. It explores like the idea of how we interact with the fourth dimension, and then like it shows it by using the two dimension as an analogy.
Wait, this is so weird. Have you read Flatland? That's also a really good short story.
I haven't, but I remember watching a video about it when I was like, really young.
Oh.
And it was really interesting. I think honestly that might have been part of what got me into science and such, physics. Because I remember seeing it when I was young, and it was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, Flatland is amazing. Yes, I also agree. I don't think I've actually seen the YouTube video. I should check it out. But I think the Flatland is like one of the best ways to explain to people like how other dimensions work and why we struggle to visualize honestly beyond like maybe even beyond the third dimension, let alone more and more dimensions. Actually, we got a question in chat. Maybe Stella, you can answer this as well. Z and Stella, what do you look for when searching for books to read? Stella, do you want to go first?
Yeah, honestly, it's just whatever interests me. If it's like if I think like when I'm reading books, I don't like if I see a book on like a web page or a book in a bookstore, I'll look at the cover and then I'll flip to the back, read the like little excerpt there. And based on that, I'll determine on if it's something that interests me, and if I want to get it, or if I want to put it on a book list to read later. I don't really have that strict of a criteria. It's just, does this look interesting?
Yeah. I think I also feel like I do the same. I definitely like, I judge my book by a cover sometimes. But I think for me, I actually like to read a nonfiction book and a fiction book at the same time. The reason for that is because sometimes when I get back from like work, like my brain is so tired that I don't really want to be reading any nonfiction. And on the other hand, sometimes when I just want to like learn something new and I'm in the mood for learning, I pick up a nonfiction book. I like to read a lot of books about history, so I tend to take a lot of recommendations from there, and physics books too. I think in general, for me, I like books that have a lot of creative and immersive world building. One of the books that I mentioned earlier that I didn't really go into depth too much is like, I think it's called The Emperor's Soul. And I really loved it because it had such a creative magic system where you can make, where the magicians or the sorcerer people, they build these, they have to craft these stamps which kind of let you mimic another object upon another. So like for instance, like if you have like a lump of like cement and you were to draw like a stamp on it, it could look like a beautiful vase, for instance. And that was a really cool magic system. And so for me, like I like books where the authors get really creative and it helps me sort of visualize worlds that I could never imagine myself being in. That being said, I also like some like I'd say like, I wouldn't say like philosophical, but like books that really make me think. Like those are definitely my favorite types of books. So that's sort of what I look for. And Orbeez, what do you guys think? What do you guys look for? Going to a big library and going to a section I'm interested in was my method. Yes, when I was little, what I would do is I'd like go into a library, I'd skip all the sections, I'd go straight to the astrophysics one. In fact, I was like at a point where I had like basically read every single book on that shelf, and so I would just be like looking for the books that I haven't read. And that was really fun. So yeah, I don't know, Stella, have you done that, something like that?
I probably have, and also, for those who've seen my book postings in Z's Discord, you know I often like read 2 books at a time, but it's a very interesting dichotomy. Like I think I have it in the slideshow. We can talk on it later. But okay, let's move on to the next one.
Let's go.
Okay. This one's A City on Mars. For those who read or watched my video on space law, you know I referenced this book at the end as like helping me research the topic, and it's honestly a really good book because it examines like the idea of like space colonization and like talking about like the various challenges to it, both in terms of like the technology, but also just, is this even something we're allowed to do? Is this legal? And what, if not, if so, how do we like, and what should the legal framework for activities in space look like? And towards the end, it also like talks about like the kind of ideology behind space colonization and like the various proposals as to why we should do it. I think it's a very good book if you're interested in like and want to learn more about the like space colonization, space settlement.
Yeah, I mean, we're both very interested in space policy, so this looks amazing. I definitely should give this one a read.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is great. The next one. Oh, I love this one. Oh my god.
Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my copy.
Oh, I guess your hand cam hasn't been updating on my end.
No, it has. It's just I don't have anything there.
Oh, okay.
Or has it not been up? Is that thing now?
I don't think so. But for those of you who are on my stream, Stella's POV is pinned in the chat, so be sure to check it out.
Yeah, if you want to see the hand cam I set up, I'm showing off the physical books in my collection. And yeah, contact. I think I read it back in like this December 2 years ago. It was a very, honestly, very like the themes of like religion and like faith, like it's a very interesting thing, and like the way it works into the storyline. I don't want to reveal too much, but like I really recommend it. It's like it, because Carl Sagan himself was like agnostic. He like, in his view, he couldn't really be sure if there was or wasn't a god because it's not a question science can answer. It's something that relies on outside of science.
Yeah, no, this book is like a classic. It honestly is such a good read, and I think the movie is what made it even more accessible, because I think a lot of people have seen the movie. So if you're not into reading, the movie is also a very good watch. I highly recommend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yippee.
Moving on.
Yes. Oh my god,
Yippee?
I was just talking with somebody yesterday about this book. This is a classic.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of the best sci-fi comedies I've ever read. Okay, so I have the, like, it's a 5-book collection. It has all 5 books in the trilogy. Don't question the naming.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I read the first 2 some years ago, but I recently reread them, and it is genuinely just amazing. And like, I don't know where to begin like talking about it, because there's a lot of stuff covered, and it's like, I really recommend at least the first book, or you can watch the movie. The movie's also very good.
Yeah, no, the movie is great too. 42, the original 6, 7 meme.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about that. So, yeah. Meaning of life is 6, 7. God.
Yes. No, stop. No, 6, 7 is a 7 here.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was having a conversation with somebody about this book yesterday, about how this book actually changed a lot of the ways that people have seen space. We were talking about a lot of other things, about like how Star Wars and Star Trek kind of helped invite the people's imagination into what does a spacefaring civilization look like. For instance, Star Trek, they had a lot of people with like diverse languages and diverse backgrounds and, you know, all these alien species talking to each other, and it sort of painted this picture of space being diverse. In a similar way, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was so pivotal because I think it shows that, like, space can be fun. Like, I feel like, you know, you see Star Wars and, like, all this crazy drama, you see Dune, and what The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy did at the time is that it shows that space can be funny, space can be fun and whimsical, and it can be whatever the heck you want it to be. And so I think that's what also brought the people's imagination to be more excited about space in a new way. I have a lot of thoughts about this. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, it's just really funny and such, and there is also a lot of like subtle commentary about like I guess society.
Yeah, I guess most of this was him just writing down everything he made during his radio shows. What? I didn't know that. But like, that's also probably where it came from. Yeah. Yeah,
and there's a foreword in here, and it's basically talking about how there's so like how the evolution of the story. Like it started as a BBC radio show, got adapted into books, like, and then more radio shows like short story, and then the movie, which came out after his death. And it's just like, and there's just a lot of inconsistencies between the two. And it's just like, eventually he laid his head down and went like, all right, no, this is the final version. It is wrong for good. I don't care what anyone else says. It's
no, exactly. Oh, this is great. Yeah. Oh my God! Wait, what is this book?
Oh. Okay.
This isn't a sci-fi book. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have checked the slides in advance.
Okay, I was debating if I actually wanted to leave this in.
Hey yo, what is this? I do not endorse this.
I forgot about it.
I'm gonna write this one down. No, we are being good influences here.
No, okay. I have the it is.
Oh, my precious Orbeez are being ruined. They're being ruined.
They're gonna get into Yuri. They're gonna no. This was your big mistake. You never should have invited me on.
Oh my God.
Okay, no. I recommend it if you like rom-com, but I think we're gonna move on now.
Okay, well, for those of you who came in, we were talking about sci-fi books. Oh, okay. Well, the next slide is great. Stella's planned reads.
Yeah. Okay. I have a lot of books to talk about here. I actually forgot to put this in. So, first one I'm going to showcase is this one, Andromeda. It was published in the 1950s in the Soviet Union. It's basically like, it's the forerunner of Soviet science fiction. From my understanding, it basically started a renaissance in like Soviet film and book culture, and led to a lot of development of like interest within Soviet culture of space exploration, and helped promote their space program, and also led to like a lot of new movies and books being published. It's like, and it also just has a very interesting premise.
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I read the next book in that list, Caliban's War.
Yeah, I talk about. Okay, let me bring both of them up. So I read the first one, Leviathan with Sea. We have a slide to talk about it, and then like, well, I was just gonna continue the series here, and so I got into the second book, but then I later found out that that one of my friends was gonna gift it to me, and so they had to swap it out and get the next book in the series after that. So that okay. Let's see. Here are the next two books. This one, Brief Answers to Big Questions. It's, from my understanding, it's just Stephen Hawking writing down his philosophy. It was actually published like shortly after his death. And then this one, it was gifted to me for Christmas because I think they know they know I'm taking physics and they know I'm interested in all this. And like, whoa.
Wait, now that I'm thinking about it, remember how somebody asked, like, where can you get books? Christmas gifts. Because I was gifted Project Hail Mary for Christmas, and, like, I read that book, like, cover to cover, like, 3 times. And I've also, like, lent it out to friends and stuff like that. So, Christmas gifts are a great way to get books, especially if they're new.
Yeah. Okay. And the other books on the list I don't have, but I guess I'll just talk about them briefly. Wandering Earth, that is a short story by Neil Tishy. He also wrote Supernova Era and the Three Body series, both of which we're going to talk on. And then afterwards is the Red Mars series. It's been on my reading list for a bit. I just haven't been able to get hold of the books yet. Then we also have Ball Lightning, also by Neil Tishy. It's part of the Three Body universe, but it's not a prequel. It's more like, I guess it's kind of a prequel because Ball Lightning is mentioned in the first Three Body book, but it's not. You don't need to read it to understand the main story.
Yeah, we're just about to talk about a bunch of those books too.
Yeah, and then the last one is Soonish. It was written by these same people who wrote City on Mars. In that one, they're talking about like near future tech, things like, I'm actually not sure, but basically like technological developments that are approaching in space exploration and the influence they could have on it, good and bad.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
The main issue is I'm definitely going to try and see what I can do if I can find any of these at libraries or at discount bookstore, because it's so expensive. It is insane. I don't, especially new books. Okay, but I think let's move on to
our shared reading. Yeah. Oh my god, don't even get me started on the Three Body Problem. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm such a simp for the Three Body Problem.
Alright, Santi, DQ Wanshir, Three Body Problem, or the official series title is Remembrance for the Past. I really don't want to give away any of the series, but it is genuinely so peak. I don't even know where to begin. Just read it and trust the process. The character writing, I'll be honest, it's not the point. Like most of the characters exist to push forward the story, but it's meant as basically how humanity reacts to crisis. Like the teaser I gave is just for the first book, but the whole series is insane, and honestly, I feel like it kind of humbles humanity in a way. I think my favorite quote from the series is, weakness and ignorance are not hindrance to survival, but arrogance is.
Ooh, yeah. No, this series is great. Have you watched the Netflix show for it?
I've watched the first 3 episodes, but I haven't made time for the rest of it.
No, it's really great. Somebody in the chat said that there was a Chinese Minecraft 3-body series. Could you please elaborate on what that is?
Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. I've watched like most of the first season of it. It is surprisingly well made, and
Wait, what is it? What is it?
Okay, it's called, the official title is War de Santi, My 3-Body. Basically, it's an adaptation of. It started off as just like a fan project, and so the first season was filmed pretty much entirely in Minecraft, but they got more volunteers, more people working on it, and they later adapted Dark Forest in 2 seasons, showing the stories of Lordzi and Zhang Beihai, and then they also, the 4th season is adapted Death's End. I think it's in production, but I'm not actually sure.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, if you don't want to wait for Netflix to release the next seasons and adapt the next books, watch the Minecraft series.
Honestly, I will. I didn't know that was a thing until now. That's crazy.
Okay, also for my favorite part about Death's End that's not spoiler related is that the third book, the author spends multiple paragraphs talking about how the men of the future became femboys. Like, that is an actual plot point in the story.
Yeah, no, I really recommend the Three Body Problem because as I mentioned before, I really like books that A, make you think, and B, have really creative world building, and this is like a beautiful combination of the two. I also want to say that this series was originally written in Chinese, and like has been translated in many, many different languages, and I think that is a testament to how impressive this series is. Of course, I think there's been a lot of questions about like, oh, what is this series about? And I think honestly, no description can really do it justice. I think it is a story that spans multiple generations. It is a story that spans so many scales of time and space. Like a verbal description just like will not do it justice. It is something that is purely an experience. So I highly, highly recommend it. And yeah, no, I do have to admit that like it is definitely a long read, and I have heard a few times that, you know, like there's a lot of characters, like it's hard to get lost. So I would recommend like definitely being patient with this series, but it is the kind of series that you will read once and it will absolutely change your life and the way that you see the world.
Yeah. Oh, one last question before we move on. Have you read the fourth quote-unquote book in the series?
Which one? Is that the one on the next slide? Or no, Supernova Era is not.
No.
There's a fourth book?
No, okay. Okay, it's a bit complicated. So, after the publishing of Death's End, there was a Chinese fan wrote up another book, and the publishing company published it as a fourth book in the series called Redemption of Time, and it was the idea was just the fan filling in like his parts of the story that wasn't filled in Death's End, but it's very like controversial because it wasn't published by the main author, and it also and like a lot of like people don't really like it as much because it isn't as high quality, and also Liu Cixin was kind of strong on to allow it to be published, and he couldn't really write any more books in the series after that.
I see. I think I feel like there's like similar controversies when like an author's son or like their child like continues a series. I know that there was a lot of controversy with the Dune series and some of the books that were written like not by Frank Herbert, but I think like his son or something. So yeah, I think it could be a mixed bag. I haven't read that, but I actually would not be opposed to checking it out because this series was so great. It is and it isn't canon. Yeah. Glorified fanfic?
Yeah. It is pretty much, yeah, because like I said, it was fan fiction that was initially published on just a tiny blog, and then it got published officially by the company. But okay.
Next book?
Yeah, next book. Supernova Era. I don't have this one in my collection because, like I said, I got it from the library. But it did take me a while to read it, but is it also like really good? It's an exploration of society, and if you know about like Chinese history, it's not difficult to see the parallels between like the book's setting and China during the Deng Xiaoping era, because a lot of the themes explored in the book is the idea of rapid social change when basically all of society is upheaved. And that's kind of what happened both with the Cultural Revolution and then with the reform and opening up. A lot of things were changing very, very quickly for China. And that meant a lot of the old social structures were changing as well. And so how that the book is kind of like an exploration of those themes through a fictional setting. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this book?
I was kind of disappointed by the ending, but I think, I guess coming as somebody who does not know about Chinese history, or at least doesn't know that much about Chinese history, I don't think you really need to know any of it in order to really interpret the book. I sort of interpret it as, so I guess a brief plot point is it says, like, when the adults die and only the children are left, how do they respond to the unraveling of the fabric of society? And a part of the book is about this imminent disaster that's going to happen, and these adults who feel like these adults who have to train their children in a very short period of time to keep the country running after the adults no longer exist. And that's all I'm going to say about the book without spoiling it.
Yeah.
But I think one of my favorite things about reading is that it can put you in worlds that, you know, would not happen. Well, like, hopefully, fingers crossed, we are never in a situation where all, you know, the adults die and, you know, we gotta have the kids, like, you know, deal with everything. But that being said, like, it was a very interesting case study about how do people respond in times of disaster. And that is something that really interests me about science fiction books. I actually read a book a few years ago about how science fiction stories and science fiction movies have been used to actually directly craft policy in space. For instance, there was this one movie, like, a really long time ago about, like, a nuclear bomb and how there was very little security with the bomb, and that actually led to direct regulations in nuclear policy. In a similar way, this book, obviously there won't be a disaster where all the adults die anytime soon, but it is a beautiful case study of how does society respond in the case of an astrophysical disaster or something that they feel very out of their control. And I think the parallels to that could be applied to some other aspects of real life. So I think if you are interested in, you know, being in a world that is very new and, you know, seeing, like, how would people respond in the situation, I think this book did a really great job. But that being said, I think the ending was quite controversial, and I have to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, but it is definitely a great read, and it is the kind of book that will put you on the edge of your seat for a very long time. So yes, I highly recommend.
Yeah, but the end, like, it does make a bit more sense if you understand, like, Chinese culture and stuff. But even still, I did find it felt out of place, especially considering what had happened immediately beforehand. I'm not gonna say anything, but, like, it is just a bit of a disconnect there. But I'd still recommend picking it up if you can.
Yeah, no, this was a great one for sure.
This one, next book.
Oh my god, wait.
Yes,
okay, so
yes.
Oh my god, I just
Compose
died.
yourself.
So when we were building these slides, right? Like, we were kind of, like, on the slideshow separately, and I noticed that Stella put this book, and, like, I, like, typed out this paragraph. OMG, I was gifted this for my birthday, and I've been obsessed with it. The movie is coming out soon. It's such a masterpiece. I'm so sorry I'm taking up the whole text block, but this is literally the first book I recommend to anyone I meet, and I still stand by that ground. This is literally the book that I recommend to people who are like, oh, I want to get into sci-fi, but, like, I don't know where to start. This is the book, and I also have a copy, so I can, like, give it out to people, you know? So I highly recommend. Oh my god, my voice just, like, evaporated. I was that excited. Holy smokes.
Yeah. No. Like, I got the book because you recommended it to me, actually. Like, so yeah, I went out, I got it. It is so amazing. Please, just go read it right now. That's your assigned reading. Go read it. Now.
Yes, assigned reading. All the Orbeez have homework.
Okay. I think, is that all that needs to be said on that?
I'm just gonna read the plot little description here. Basically, this high school teacher has found himself alone, light years away from any human, not even knowing his name, yet tasked with the impossible mission to save humanity that he will have to do all alone. Or will he? Oh my god. Isn't that so enticing? The book was so good, it took your voice away. No, when I read this, I literally sat down, stared at a wall, and I was like, what the hell did I just read? Because that was so good. This is so good. The movie's gonna be great. It has, what's his name? Ryan Gosling, I think. The dude from La La Land in it. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Okay, also, I'm so excited for you. Okay, so the movie actually comes out in my IRL birth month. I'm not gonna say anything more, but like,
no way.
The way it lines up is just gift I could have ever seen.
Yeah,
Alright.
I would recommend, like, with the movie coming out so soon, that also gives people an incentive to read the book. So you should read the book before watching the movie. I am really hoping that the movie is good, but I know that The Martian was such a great movie that I'm hoping that, like, they follow up with it very faithfully. But the trailer looks great already, so.
I actually have The Martian in my collection as well. I think it was the first book actually where I saw the movie before I read the book.
Oh.
Yeah, in most cases, like, I didn't even know there was, like, an adaptation of it before I read the book, but Martian was, like, the exception. And also, my favorite, like, joke, like, when talking about the book, is that you know it's fiction because it exists in a timeline where, 1, NASA's fully funded, and 2, it's allowed to collaborate with China.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, enough.
The formula should be relatively easy to follow for a movie. Yeah, there have just been some instances where I've been really excited for a movie and was disappointed, or they, like, didn't follow the book faithfully. But I think there are some movies where the movie crew are, like, very open in conversation with the author, and I feel like in those instances they do a really, really good job of making sure that the original author's intent shines through.
Yeah, I think this is the last slide. We managed to get through all the content.
We made it on time.
Yeah, despite all the stuff. All right. But yeah, it is. We're just gonna talk a bit more about Leviathan Wakes and the fan series. I've read the first book, and I was not expecting the wild ride set me on. I was drawn in because of the, like, themes of, like, class struggle and, like, the conflict between Mars and Earth and the people in the Belt, but I did not expect anything else beyond that, and it sent me on a wild ride. Like, it was so crazy.
Yeah, I love this book. This series in general was a lot of fun. One of my favorite parts about this book was that all the characters were just so charming. I feel like sometimes I, like, can't read a book if, like, I can't relate with the character, or, like, the character is, like, doing something that I wouldn't do. But I felt like all the characters here were all so charming, and also the world building was incredible. I remember, it's been a while since I read this one, but I remember it being quite accurate, like, in terms of physics as well. So, yes, yes.
I think the only, like, track in physics is the Epstein drive, which is how they are able to, like, go between all the outer planets. Other than that, everything is very accurate to real life physics, at least from what I've read and from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'd recommend the series. It's also a Prime Video, like, show, I think.
What?
They got
no.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What? I'm
right there.
So quick.
Now a Prime original series. All right.
I recently watched Foundation, which is on, like, Apple TV, I think. And I watched the first season and I loved it. The second season was not as good, but that was also a great one to watch. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay, I jotted this one down. I'm very stoked. I will have to watch this.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Woohoo! Wow, we actually went through everything. This is great.
Yay!
Yippee!
All right.
Well,
I'm also kind of impressed we did.
Yeah,
I felt like we'd be talking a lot more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think we should try to see somebody that we could raid. I was actually eyeing, and it looks like Super Kim is live. So if you guys don't know, Super Kim and I have collabed a few times. She does VTubing and also flesh tubing content. She is also an IRL astronomer. So I highly recommend checking out her channel. We are actually collabing very, very soon to continue writing our joke research paper. So I highly recommend. Oh, thank you, Starly Pop, for following. And also, thank you again, Syzygy and also Tofu for rating. I really, really appreciate all the support. I also included my YouTube links, so if you could check that out there. I also have long form videos, and also check out Stella's channel, which is in the pinned message. Stella, do you have any announcements or anything, or?
Yeah, okay, so earlier this month, I posted a roadmap, but I can just talk about it real quickly. So my next two videos are going to be about exploring the idea of building Dyson spheres, and also about like constructing, not construct, but like how you would govern across the galaxy, if it's even possible to do such a thing. And then in terms of live streams, I have one planned on April 12th. It's going to be a Kerbal Space Program stream.
Oh,
I'm going to be playing
I did
the real
Kerbal
solar
too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing the real solar system mod, which basically makes the game so much worse. And it's going to be in honor of Yuri Gagarin and his spaceflight. And then I also have streams planned basically exploring the idea of settling in terraforming Mars. That's all. Keep them on your calendar if you're interested. They're probably going to all be very scuffed, but that's part of the charm.
Yes, no, that sounds great. That sounds great. Sorry for the Twitch folks. I just canceled the raid just to not cut off Stella. But yeah, my next stream will probably be on Friday. We will probably be doing VTuber versus LaTeX again, or PhD Simulator. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Stella, for coming on. And we will actually raid Kim for reals now. So be ready to raid. Thank you all so much. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Though I'm trying